So today's lesson is the pioneers of modern science. Abirina, please turn on your video. So let me tell you the lesson. We all know that the world today is not what it was 250 years ago. Why the author is saying that? Because technologically we have changed a lot. We have changed everything. Nowadays, machines makes our work easier. How is that possible? It is possible only because of the advancement of technology. 250 years ago, the fastest means of traveling was on horseback. So 250 years ago, you can add more to it. Like, we did not have trains previously, and the main transport system was on horseback. Okay, people used to go from one place to another on the back of horses, on the carts, okay, pulled by bullocks. Okay, so nowadays we have trains, aeroplanes, and so many other transportation to move from one place to another. Today, men travel by cars or trains which are several times faster than the fastest horse. Men can even fly. That is, men fly in aeroplanes. Then men, they also fly in the parachute. Okay. Then there are many other things that men can do nowadays, which they could not many years before. They have also reached the moon. In olden days, people could not talk to each other if they were not within the shouting range. At primitive age, during the ancient period, how the people used to communicate with each other. There were tribes, they used to communicate through drums. They used to beat the drums and they used to communicate. If there was any danger, anything that they wanted to communicate with the others who used to stay far of villages and in other places, they used to communicate with their drums, and from the other side, the tribes would beat their drums and would respond to it. But modern men and women talk with their friends on the other side of the world with the help of telephone or a wireless set. Nowadays, we can communicate with each other. Each of us can communicate. How we can communicate with the help of telephones. Not only the telephones which we have in our homes, but we also have wireless telephones, that is mobile phones. Okay. These changes in our life have been brought about by the great inventions and discoveries of scientists. It is not easy to calculate the benefits that science and scientists have bestowed upon mankind. So the scientists, they have invented different kinds of things which have enabled us to communicate, to move faster, and to do so many things. The achievement of scientists can never be calculated. The history of the progress of human race may in many ways be regarded as the history of great scientists whose discoveries and invention have immeasurably contributed to the comfort and safety of man's life. One of the most wonderful things that modern man use, on which modern civilization virtually depends, is electricity. So in ancient times, how people used to light their houses, they did not have electricity. So at that time, what did they use? They used lanterns, they used candles, they use fires in order to light their homes. But now, since we have electricity, we have a lot of advantages, and we are benefited from it. It is not for common man without deep scientific knowledge to understand what exactly electricity is and where it comes from. But we all can understand what electricity can do and how its use benefits mankind. Electricity benefits mankind a lot. Okay, how? You can light your homes in the dark. You can use stoves on electricity. You can use many other electronic gadgets on electricity. You can charge your phones, which we cannot even think so many years before. Two Englishmen, Sir Humphrey Davy and Michael Faraday, used to take deep interest in the working of electricity. Sir Humphrey Davy was at first a laboratory assistant at a hospital, but later he became a professor of chemistry and a fellow of the Royal Society. So we are now studying about Sir Humphrey Davy and Michael Faraday, who were the pioneers in the field of electricity. He found that electric current would separate many things in the solution into their constituent parts. From this discovery, men today make low-cost aluminum, aluminum, pure copper, chlorine, various acids, fertilizers, and steel. So these are the things which we can get by the help of electricity. Separation of chemicals with the help of electricity enables us to get the different substances. One important discovery that Davy made was that a coil of wire through which electric current passes acts like a bar of magnet. Davy's greatest invention was the safety lamp, which men working in the underground in coal mines can safely use. So at first he saw that the copper wire, it acted as electric and electric can pass through them. And so he invented the safety lamp. It was invented for whom? For the people who worked under the coal mines. In the coal mines, when people go inside, it's dark. They can hardly see it. So they wear a cap on which there is a battery lamp through which they can see the cave from where they can derive the coals. This lamp is called the Davy lamp in memory of its great inventor, who was one of the pioneers working tirelessly to make electricity practically useful to mankind. So this Davy lamp, which was used for the coal miners, was named after him since he invented it. Michael Faraday, who was an assistant to Sir Humphrey Davy, discovered the electromagnet. So another pioneer in the field of electricity was Michael Faraday, and he was an assistant to Sir Humphrey Davy, and he discovered the electromagnet. In 1831, he made the first dynamo to produce electricity. His discovery made it possible to produce electricity more powerfully than before. So the invention of Michael Faraday was innumerable, and he discovered that electricity can move much faster. It is because of Faraday's discovery of the electromagnet that electric power can be used for telegraph, sending wireless message, driving machines, etc. Nowadays, Nowadays, we are connected to satellites. Okay, we are connected to satellites through which we get signals through electricity, and in return, we can connect to people staying in different parts of the world, and we can talk with them. See, these are coming after 8 o'clock and now disturbing so much. As a result of his invention, thousands of power stations are producing electricity all over the world. Again, when you pick up a telephone and talk to a person at the other end, you realize the importance of telephone, but you do not remember the person who invented it. His name is Alexander Graham Bell. So who invented telephone? Telephone was invented by Alexander Graham Bell. He was a Scotsman. Graham Bell became interested in electricity and began to wonder if it would not be possible to convey the human voice along a wire. He invented that human voice can also be sent through wire. Now we are sending human voice wirelessly through the help of satellites. Slowly his experiments took shape, and at last he was able to speak along a wire to a friend in another room. In the beginning, he had great difficulty in persuading people to take up and use the invention. Generally, when a scientist makes his invention, it is very difficult to make people get to use over it, because he have to give many proofs and he have to show demonstration by which he can use this particular thing. So nowadays there is a special platform called TED, where the new scientists, they keep their inventions, and then it goes, then it is once it is accepted by TED, it is accepted by people throughout the world. Finally, the Bell Telephone Company was formed. Today, the telephone helps us in our offices and in constructing businesses. And in every house, we know that this wonderful gift received from Alexander Bell had been of great help to us in our daily life. So you can see that we are communicating. Today, we all have smartphones. In this phase of pandemic, how are we communicating with you all? We are communicating with you all with the help of telephones. That is a smartphone, which is more or less like a computer. Through these smartphones, we are sending you messages and information which are useful to you. It is a forerunner of the modern day cassettes and discs, on which the voices of people, particularly of famous singers, are recorded. Now, what is a gramophone? Gramophone, previously people used to have it like a huge box kind of stuff and a big disc. Okay. We used to call them record players. Okay. And we used to play it on the huge box, which had a pin on it, and the sound used to come out on the speaker. Nowadays, we don't have those gramophones, but we have much developed machines like disc players and USB port through which we can play the songs, and we can play the songs also in our mobiles. We can listen to the songs of great singers and the music of great musicians with the help of these gramophone records or cassette or disc whenever we wish to listen to them. The person who invented this wonderful machine called gramophone was Thomas Alva Edison, an American scientist. So who was Thomas Alva Edison? He was an American scientist who invented gramophone. Now let's read the story of Thomas Alva Edison, how he was encouraged to invent this particular thing. As a little boy, he used to sell newspapers on the American railway platform. So Thomas Alva Edison, since his childhood, he used to sell newspapers in the platforms. Between the arrival and departure of train, he was always found in the telegraph office at the railway station watching the operators at work. One day he saw the station master's little boy in danger of being run over. So he used to be in the most of the time in the railway platforms. Between the arrival of the trains and the departure of the trains, he used to be there and he used to see how the operators used to work. One day he saw the station's master boy. He was in a danger of being run over by a train. Jumping forward, he saved the child, and the station master was so grateful that he taught Edison all about telegraphy. So in order to express his gratitude, the station master taught Thomas Alva Edison of how to operate this, how this telegraphy works. Thomas Alva Edison was a tireless worker, and he used to spend hours, days, and months in scientific research. To him, we owe some of the greatest means of comfort of modern life. So Thomas Alva Edison, he was very hardworking person, and whatever he learned, he put into use of inventing great stuffs, which we are enjoying in our present life. When he invented the gramophone, he was only 21. See, he was of such young age when he invented gramophone. Next, his interest focused on photography, which was all done on a glass plate in those days. So in those days, photography, though it was invented, everything was in black and white. You never had colored photographs. It came in the later era. Soon he showed that photographs could be taken on celluloid ribbons. These are certain kind of ribbons which are helped to record, and then later on it was used to develop the photographies. This brought about a revolution in photography which led to the development of film industry. Another very useful invention of this great inventor is the electric bulb, which we illuminate our houses and streets. Again, news and songs that we receive on the radio set at our homes reach us through the empty space without the help of any wire, because sound moves faster than electricity. There are sound waves, okay? There are sound waves, and these waves move faster. He caught these sound waves and he helped these sound waves to reach one person to another through the medium of radio. The great scientist who invented this magic device was Marconi, a great Italian scientist. In fact, several people before Marconi were trying to transmit voices from one place to another without the help of wire. So without the help of wire, many scientists tried to do it, but they did not succeed. Who succeeded it? It was succeeded by Marconi. Then Marconi discovered that human voices could be turned into electric signals with the help of electricity, and that those electric signals could be turned into the original voices again. You will read in science how all these things are done. He tirelessly worked with the research, and finally in 1901, he succeeded in transmitting a signal across the Atlantic Ocean. So he worked tirelessly on his work, and in 1901, he succeeded in transmitting the voice signal across the Atlantic Ocean. As a result of Marconi's wonderful invention, we can send messages from one place to another in an instant. And now wireless has become an important part of the contemporary life. How How has, sorry, how has this wireless become an important part in our contemporary life? Because with this wireless, we work on computers, we can hear on radios, we use our mobiles, and we do a lot of stuff. Nowadays, the most important feature, predation of technology is the internet, which has made us unable to compete with the modern world. Okay. So that is the story about the modern pioneers of science. Let me tell you the word meanings now. Immeasurably, without a measure, to a great degree. That is unmeasurable. Constituent parts, different parts that make a thing. The separate parts. Persuading, making people do something by giving good reason for doing so. That is continuing to do something which one aims to, okay? Conducting, carrying out. Forerunner, a thing that came before. Research, a careful study of a subject. Focus. Focus was directed. Focus means to stay on the particular thing which he has aimed to do. Then celluloid, a thin plastic material used for making photographic films. Next, revolution, great change. Device, device, equipment that is made to do a thing. Transmit, to send electronic signal, radio signal, etc. Contemporary, at one's own time. These question and answer, did your sir give you? Please tell me. Did your sir gave you the question answer of this lesson, last lesson of supplementary?
No.
No.
People will
No,
give it.
ma'am.
No.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Now, let's read the following passage. And as I tell you, you please write it down. Bem Bem. Miss, please tell us something about the resources of Manipur. Teacher, as I have told you, the most valuable resource is knowledge. We have to enrich our knowledge. For this, we need to educate each and everyone in our society. Manipuris are highly talented, skilled, and intelligent people. We have a lot of potentials. Education is important for developing our potentials. So what is the most valuable resource? You please write it down in your textbook, as I tell you. Education is the most valuable resource. Please write it down. What is the most valuable resource? Education is the most valuable resource. To enrich our knowledge, what do we need? What do we need to enrich our knowledge? You write it down. We need to educate we need to educate each and everyone. We need to educate each and everyone in our society to enrich our knowledge. We need to educate each and everyone in our society to enrich our knowledge. We need to educate each and everyone in our society to enrich our knowledge. What kind of people are the Manipuris? Write down. Manipuris are highly talented, skilled and intelligent people, full stop. It is there in the passage. You can copy it from there. Manipuris are highly talented, skilled and intelligent people. Did you get your question answer for for Rashid and Kapoor?
No.
No.
You did not get it?
Yes.
No, ma'am.
Okay, let me see if there are any passages or any grammar portion. Let me see.
Okay, ma'am.